the first thing I always do is I give glory to God, the Father of Jesus Christ, because without him, this country wouldn't exist. And without him, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing right now. So I just always want to give him the glory. And I think that's probably one of the things I want to bring back to Washington is a sense of morality, a sense of decency. When I tell you that I'm pro-life, I'm actually pro-life. I'm not going to vote for an abortion bill. And if I tell you that I'm pro-gun, I'm not going to waver on that. And I want to be held accountable for what I tell you, what I tell the people. And that, I think, is a number one issue for me, is a morality. We need to bring morality back to Washington, D.C. so people can count on their legislatures, the people who are making laws, they can count on them to do what they're saying. And that doesn't happen very often. And that's a real frustration. Of course, I said I'm pro-life, so babies are real important. But a couple of the issues that for the people are the car insurance in Nevada is ridiculous. It almost equals a car payment now. And why? It's increasing 3 times as fast as inflation. And that's wrong. And so one of the things that I plan on doing is get with the legislators and have a congressional hearing, bringing them in and asking why the rates are going so high. Another thing is with all the new gadgets that they have in these cars, it's really amazing. You can't go out of the lane without getting beeped, and accidents have dropped severely. I mean, it's great how few of accidents there are, and yet insurance rates are still rising. So that's one of the big issues. In small business, we've got contacted from some mom and pop restaurants, and they are what make America great. That's what America is all about, is being able to have a small business like that. And they contacted us and said that Restaurant Depot was being bought by Cisco, and that's going to raise, one guy said it was going to raise milk $17 a case, which, over a period of time, that's a lot of money for them. That, along with the minimum wage, is putting them out of business. And so those are things that I want to work with as well. Is minimum wage, for most people is, like when you start working at a restaurant, at a McDonald's, that's a beginner job. It's not a job that's supposed to sustain you for life. That's not where you want to retire from. It's a job for, senior citizens when they've retired, and it's also for the youth when they're starting out, get them used to working and being on time and being respectful to authority and all that. And it's not to make a living at it. And so those are things, a couple of things that we're going to work on as well. That's why you want to get businesses, you want to get corporations as well. And how you get corporations in is, you have lower taxes for them. And I know a lot of people say that corporations don't pay taxes, but if you have 100,000 people working for you, that's 100,000 people who are paying taxes. And so you have to make sure that they are taken care of. And corporations, and this goes back to that moral issue, a lot of them have taken that money, and rather than put it back into the company, they've taken it and run, and that's greed. That's an immoral thing, is greed. And so if we get morality back in the country and understand that, these corporations can't be so greedy. The bailouts were terrible years ago. They were terrible because the corporations took them and gave big bonuses to their people, and that's greed. And I can't fix greed. That's somebody's heart, but I can be an example of how we need to be. I can explain it to people, and sometimes when you call people out on something, they think twice about it.
And I was going to say, you can hold them to account if you do see it here, as well.
Hold them accountable. That's just like I want to be held accountable. Accountability is so important. We don't have, in our schools, education's a big deal with me. I'm a retired teacher. And I saw how there's no discipline in our schools. I would have a kid tell me to go, blank myself. I would send him out of the classroom because he's not going to do that to me. And the principal would call me and holler at me for having this kid cuss me out. And that's ridiculous. If you see the lack of discipline, if you see the lack of respect for authority in our country, that's because we edify it in our schools.